Good morning to all our beautiful viewers and good morning to this beautiful waterbuck. Thank you so much for joining us today on Escape to Nature. I hope we will have a wonderful Saturday, but it's already a beautiful start. My name is Lisa and I will be your waterhole naturalist for the day. And I am looking forward to all of your questions, your comments. Let me know what you would like to talk about today. What you would like to see, what you are hoping for. Hopefully we'll see some critters today, but even if we don't see all that many, I know we will have a wonderful day because we are spending it with animals and with Mother Nature and of course with one another. So please do get in touch with me. If you are watching on the website or the app, remember you can always just register and that way you can get in touch with us. Furthermore, if you also follow us on YouTube, remember to subscribe and that way we can keep you posted with highlights, with safaris and everything you might be missing out on. But as you can see, this waterbuck is having a very slow and peaceful Saturday, as it should be. It is weekend after all. Let me know what all of you are up to this weekend. I, of course, am here. And I'm very, very happy to be here and to be spending my time with all of you. But I wonder what we will be seeing today. Will we have some more elephants? Perhaps do some birding? We've not done some proper birding in quite some time. But as always, I will have my eyes on the Djuma Dam Cam as well as the Okukoyo waterhole, and I will of course keep all of you updated with what's happening at these waterholes. But as you can see, it's fairly windy. But let's take a look at the rest of the weather in our other locations as well. Always good to know the weather, but that does not always mean we can know what to expect. Expect the unexpected. But please do let me know, what are you hoping for today? What do you think we'll be lucky to see? I just quickly want to have a look-see around because there was another waterbuck here as well. A female, I believe. Oh, you see, there you are. And you're disappearing again. You can just see the ears twitching behind this cluster leaf tree on the right. She's playing a bit of hide and seek, and it's been very interesting to see these two specifically. I think it's been 3 or 4 days now that I've seen them personally hanging around. The male does seem interested in the females, so perhaps we will have a baby waterbuck by summer from these two. But they are not monogamous, sadly. I have to tell you, that was probably the biggest disappointment in my life. Finding out after watching The Lion King probably 150 times that lions are not monogamous. But waterbuck are not either. The male will mate with various females, but of course, you know, when she's in estrus, he will definitely mount her, and you never know. As I say, perhaps they are just random acquaintances, but I don't think so. Yesterday he was chasing her around a little bit, and she was teasing him a little bit, so you never know. Mum, good morning. So good to hear from you. Thank you for your comment. I am super happy to be with you as well, Mum. I hope we will have a wonderful day together. And hopefully we'll get to see what's going on in some of our other locations as well. But you never know. You never know what we might find. And for those of you that are just joining us, perhaps you're new to African wildlife, these beautiful creatures that we are watching right now are called waterbuck. They are very easy when it comes to sexual dimorphism in the adults. You can see the one on the left, I call them the African reindeers. That is a male, and the one with her tushy towards us is a female. And the only reason I know that is because when we did see the ears twitching, there were no horns present. So they are fairly easy to tell between male and female. And the males do actually fight with one another as well. That is why so many of your animals, specifically the males in antelope, will have horns. That is for the dominance establishment. And of course, they are prettier for the ladies, just like lions. A male lion has that beautiful mane. And according to our human interpretation, it's for protecting the throat when they are fighting, but it is also for intimidation purposes. You know, intimidating other male lions, but also to say to the ladies, hello, look at me, I'm very pretty. And you can see this male actually has ridges on his horns as well. And again, we will never truly know why all of these animals are designed the way they are. But according to us, that's most probably for grip, when the males are actually sparring and fighting with one another, so that the horns can actually grip, and they use their body weight to push the other one away. You'll see the same in elephants, in other antelopes. Zebras also go through that sort of dominance display, but with zebras they mostly kick and bite each other. But I don't think this male is in the mood to fight with anyone. Andrew, the video guy, it's been a minute. I have not heard from you in quite some time. The approximate weight of a waterbuck, so males will obviously be a little bit heavier because they are a little bit stockier, but also they've got the horns. So on average, they can reach about a maximum of 260 kilograms, which is huge. I mean, that's, for a lot of lions, that's the average weight. So these guys do unfortunately get predated on. However, I will tell you that in my personal experience, this has been the animal with regard to general prey and general game that I've seen the least predated on. And there's various reasons for that. But one of the main reasons, they do use water as a defense mechanism. So if something is chasing them, they'll often run into water. Because it's very rarely that a pride of lions or a leopard will follow that waterbuck into the water. Just like a house cat, or my house cat at least, she's not very fond of getting wet. But again, I'm not saying that's the golden rule and that's always the case. And then also you can see they've got a very shaggy coat. Now in their neck itself, you'll see it's especially hairy. And they've actually got a scent gland there. So when they do feel provoked or threatened in any manner, they will secrete a very, very foul smell. Even in Africa, you know, a lot of people enjoy them as venison or wild game. And when you do, in fact, handle the meat, you have to be very, very sure that the actual hairs don't touch the actual meat, because then that foul smell and all of those chemicals get released onto the meat as well. But as I say, just in my personal experience, it's not an animal that's often hunted by predators, but also, just like anywhere else, circumstances will influence absolutely everything. So if there's just waterbuck, the animals are just going to eat waterbuck. Just like us. If you just have McDonald's in your neighborhood, you're probably just going to eat McDonald's. And that is the rule for really everywhere. There's some places where giraffes get predated on a lot. My previous game reserve that I had or was working on and guiding on had a lot of giraffes. So the lions really enjoyed when they were able to take down a giraffe. But I absolutely love them. It's one of my favorite animals, these. That's a fairly strange picture. The horns protruding from her tushy. And I'm actually wondering how our mom and baby waterbuck are doing. I know 2 days ago when Maribs was around, there was a very a very big anxiety vibe going on for us at FC, because we've really gotten to know the baby waterbuck and spend time with it. And yes, it's the circle of life, but it's always sad, you know, you never get desensitized to these sort of things. I myself still will sometimes find myself crying in a sighting where an animal has been taken down. But at the end of the day, everyone has to eat.
How much do you know about the fleshy spore-bearing fungus that can survive in the vacuum of space? It's time to dig in to mushrooms with Trishala.
It's just amazing.
From the great marula trees to dazzling wildflowers, we're unpacking plants. I'm Steve. Join me and co-ecologist Trishala for the FloraFest Fireside Chat, filled with fascinating discussions and live herbalism.
Thank goodness we do still have our baby. And it's actually, yes, we can see it's a smaller one. But I have to be honest with you, just for me personally, if it is that specific individual, this baby has definitely gotten very big just within a space of a few weeks. which is wonderful. All of these animals do have that ability. The waterbuck, the impala, zebras, wildebeest. They can't stay tiny forever. They have to be able to run away quickly, defend themselves. I'm sure many of you have seen as well on Wild Earth and various other footage and documentaries that it's impressive how quickly these animals can get up, become confident on their legs, know exactly what to do. And what's also interesting, if you look at something like an elephant, a lion, a buffalo, rhino, all of those animals, well, first of all, they've got a longer lifespan, but they also take much longer to actually grow and get bigger, because those animals can get predated on, even something like a lion, believe it or not, but it's not the norm really. So again, that just begs the question, how does it all work? I personally, if I had the ability, to create plants and animals and flowers and all sorts of things, I would not nearly have this much imagination and intelligence, if you think about everything. But as I say, everything out here is just really, we go according our human interpretation. Perhaps one day we'll find out that none of all of this, the white ring on the bum, the white around the eyes, all of those things that we say have specific functions. Perhaps we've been wrong all along. But it's good to keep guessing. It's good to keep investigating and exploring and wanting to know about these animals. The one thing, however, we do know about them is that they are ruminants. As you can see, all of them, except for baby, are busy chewing. And they too have the ability, like a lot of the other animals that we see out here, to just regurgitate their food. Especially you'll see this type of behavior on your windier days. Not always, but it is fairly common. And the reason for that is, there's a nice breeze. They are not exerting their energy. They can actually just rest a little bit, get as much nutrients as possible. Because with this sort of weather, a lot of predators will also be lurking, because it's also not as hot. They are also not going to be exerting as much energy as they would in the heat of the day. Goodness, just bit my own tongue there. Getting excited about these waterbuck. Oh, baby, you are just too beautiful. And as always, I just want to have a look around every now and again. It's very easy when you're focused on just one plant or one animal or one sighting to miss out on something else as well. So I'm just going to have a quick look around and then I'll come back to these beauties. Rishan, it's always great to hear from you. They are beautiful beasts. They really are magnificent. As I say, for me personally, one of my favorite animals to observe out in the wild. I just find them very intriguing. It's an animal that almost doesn't fit into the picture. And yes, we've come to know them, and we know that they are fairly common in Africa, especially southern Africa. But it looks like, let's be honest, it looks like a donkey and an antelope had some fun one evening. They had too much dam water, and yes, 280 days later, this animal came forth. So you can see we've still got that beautiful male off to our right, and then the one female is still behind a cluster leaf, and then of course the three off to our left. James, you would like to know, how do they sense danger? Animals are phenomenal things, and waterbuck, really, I want to generalize this to all of the animals, especially the animals that can fairly easy be predated on. They've got incredible senses, and I know we talk about this so much, but I think it's still unfathomable for us to understand how acute their senses are, how well they smell. And this week I've been touching a little bit about domestic animals as well, and cats and dogs and things that we might have at home. I'm sure you'll all agree with me. They'll hear something, they'll smell something. And if you look at all animals, in my personal opinion, whether it's a wild animal, a rehabilitated animal, a domestic animal, all of them, first of all, have instinct. And their senses, as I say, are just beyond understanding. So, James, they do smell if something is going on. They will also listen. And when I say listen, not necessarily listen for a leopard or a lion, vocalizing or anything like that. They listen to everything. It's incredible. When we drive past these waterbucks on a safari vehicle now, having our cup of coffee in hand, whatever your preference of drink is, just imagine this. If you drive past them now, yes, they are going to be aware of you. They are not going to stop everything that they are doing. However, if they hear baboons calling, monkeys alarm calling, birds alarm calling, even squirrels, they will immediately stop chewing or regurgitating and listen. Where's that sound coming from? Where's that animal looking? Perhaps it's a group of monkeys sitting in trees, looking in one specific direction. And what's incredible, it sort of becomes a chain reaction. They too will then start alarm calling. And let's say we've got some impala here as well. The impalas will also start alarm calling. And they do that, again, according to our interpretation, they do that to alarm call and alert one another, but also to let the predator know, listen, we've seen you. We know you are here. You are not going to be sneaking up on us. And it's wonderful for us as human beings that are on safari vehicles. That is often what we also go on. I'm sure many of you have seen on safari. We listen for monkey alarm calls, baboons barking, squirrels shouting at something in a tree. I've actually had more than one snake sighting due to squirrels that were alarm calling at it. So squirrels are not always accurate if you are looking for something like a lion or leopard. But there's definitely those things that these animals listen to. And again, it's amazing if you think about it. Because how does that waterbuck know that's another animal that could potentially be in danger? It's not an animal that's a threat to me. It's not an animal that's going to try and eat me. The impalas know if the waterbucks are alarm calling or snorting. They know those guys are in danger. Something is wrong. Absolutely amazing. And I mean, every day we observe these animals, we learn about them, but we will never truly know everything there is to know about them, which I think is super exhilarating. That is why I love what I do. Because I've been going on safari since I think I was 3 or 4 years old. So I've been doing it for a long time. And I know there's people that have done it way longer than I have. And I'm sure all of you will agree with me. There's still something new to learn every single day. A new call, a new sound, a new behavior. And that is why I think we are so privileged just to be able to spend time with these animals every single day. Whether it's on the dam cams or the actual naturalists on safari, out in the bush. And I urge you, I think one thing that's very interesting, I started doing this as well. But look at footage of the same species, but look at them in various locations. And again, this is something that you can find on social media or watch documentaries. Even if you just Google waterbuck in Djuma versus waterbuck in the Waterbergs, which are two very different areas with regard to the geography that's there, the landscape, the lay of the land, everything, the vegetation that's available to the animals. So yes, they've got their general basic behaviors that they do share across the board, but all of them will adapt to their environment, just like the animals that we see every day in Okukoyo. It still blows my mind how animals can actually survive there, and not just survive. They are not hanging on by a thread. They thrive there. They reproduce there. Absolutely amazing. I do apologize if you feel like you're on a roller coaster every now and again. As you can hear and see, it is very windy. So just bear with us. But this sort of weather is always, for me personally, it's always been I almost want to say an unpredictable type of weather. Because I've had safaris in this weather where I see not one impala. And then I've had safaris where we went 3, 4, 5 hours without seeing any animals. Pearl, you would like to know how I would describe the sense of a waterbuck. Foo. And now don't judge me on this, because remember, we all have, yes, we've got the same senses, but we all experience things differently. Your brain makes a different connotation to something similar that I may have smelled, but you think it's completely different. For me personally, Paul, it would be a mixture of mud, that smell that you get from mud, especially like when elephants are mud bathing and all of that, mixed with a silver cluster leaf when it's flowering, which is a horrible smell. It smells like rotten shoes or something. I don't know, that's how I perceive it. Perhaps some of you disagree with me, perhaps you've got a different smell, but they don't always smell. And when I say that, we have to be very careful as well, because there's a lot of things we have to take into consideration. You might be with a herd of waterbuck and you don't smell them once. Let's say you sit with them for an hour long, observing them, you don't smell them once. There's going to be a lot of questions. Was there wind? If so, was the wind in their favor or in yours? And also, were they secreting that foul smell that I was referring to? But that is what I think, a mixture of a mixture of mud and a silver cluster leaf tree that's flowering. I hope that describes it correctly. I do just quickly, while we are on this side, want to take advantage of the fact that we are very close to the trees where our brown-headed parrots are nesting. So why not quickly check in with them? If we can, that is. The wind is picking up profusely now. So hold on to something so we don't blow away. Put on your seat belts. Now, if you are not familiar with this tree and this location, there are two beautiful brown-headed parrots that live in here, and they are currently busy nesting. So we'll just be patient for a little bit, see if we can see a head appearing. And again, it's amazing. We don't know how this hole was created. It could have been a small natural crevice, and a crested barbet or a woodpecker could have, of course, opened it up more to get to the insects that they feed on. We'll never know, because I don't know any of you, perhaps you may have been, but I know I for a fact was not here when this hole was originally created. Ooh, wind. Calm down. Lenny, good morning. It's always so wonderful to hear from you. Thank you, Lenny. Appreciate that. The wind is making it a little bit tricky for us. As you can see, we are a little shaky right now. Just get your dance on, and then you won't even know that the camera's shaking. But thank you, Lenny. I appreciate that. And thank you for bearing with us. Just wanna... no movement yet. That's all right. We will check in with them again later today. Or, of course, throughout the course of the day. But I've been saying this probably the whole week, but it's so incredible to know that we are part of these animals' lives. They don't know it. Especially for us on the dam cams, it is very helpful. Believe me, it's better for your sake, because If these animals were actually able to hear me, they'd probably hide most of the time. I think on all of the previous game reserves that I used to work, the animals just eventually became used to my voice. Ugh, it's that one again. But right now, we are part of these animals' lives. The parrots, the elephants that we see here, the waterbuck. Oh, you are just majestic, our African reindeer. Yes, yes, I saw that ear twitch. You heard me. I will continue watching the dam cams for us and, of course, keep all of you updated. But for now, I'm going to send you over to Lauren so she can say good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Madikwe Game Reserve, where the sun is up. My goodness, is up. It's already incredibly hot, and we are in the shade, luckily, along with our gorgeous male cheetah, Splinter. He is in the shade, and to be honest, there's a bit of a debate about what kill he has here. I've heard it was waterbuck, then I heard kudu, and Rian thinks impala. So to be honest, at this stage, we don't know. But good morning, my name is Lauren. Rian is on camera with me, and we're not going to go anywhere today. We are here with this magnificent boy who I've completely fallen in love with, and I am going to try and figure out what you have caught. Why is everyone getting so confused? It's because you can't properly see it. It's definitely not impala, Rian. I personally think waterbuck. It's a waterbuck. Look at the ear. That's not a kudu ear. Yep, I think it's a young waterbuck. Wow, Splinter. We've been so lucky with cheetah lately, honestly, and they are very nice to spend time with. I hope that he does get up and he maybe starts feeding at some point. That would be lovely. But either way, he's tucked away in the shade. But you can see the sun is still coming through the thicket. It's still touching him. He'll get hot. He might actually move. But either way, we're on Makanyani private concession right now, which is part of Madikwe, but it's private. So we got the Splinter all to ourselves. We don't have to make space for anyone. We don't have to move. This is our very own private sighting, which is really exciting. You know, when it gets hot like this, it still fools you into thinking it's summer, and it's not. Summer is long gone. I would say we're on the border between autumn and winter, although autumn doesn't really exist in South Africa. We're going to slide into winter so fast, but when it's hot like this and some of the flowers are still blooming and the butterflies are still dancing, it really does make you think for a moment or two that it's still summer. Look how well he blends in. If you didn't know he was here, it would be really difficult to spot from the vehicle. Jerry, absolutely. Welcome Madikwe with a grand entrance. Madikwe like to go big. When it cooks here, it cooks. Madikwe Reserve, you will have sightings like you will possibly not have anywhere else. Of course you will have quiet days, absolutely. But we like to say when it cooks, it really cooks at Madikwe. And of course, Escape to Nature is a slower pace. We can get deep into discussions and we can just spend time with the cheetah. I may go silent, and that's just to let you hear what I hear, see what I see, and feel the sighting. It's a lot more immersive. Randy, to be honest, all of them. All predators really calyptoparasitize, which means steal kills. There are more sort of species that are more common to doing it than others, but it's highly unlikely wild dogs would come and chase this cheetah off. I have seen wild dogs eat old carcasses that they didn't kill. So they do eat sort of carrion that's not fresh, but I'm not sure wild dogs would come and chase the cheetah off. However, lions absolutely would, leopards would, spotted hyenas without a doubt, without a doubt, and brown hyena possibly, and even other cheetahs. For example, if the coalition of males, the Pinda boys, 2 of them, who are not on Makanyani right now, so it's not going to happen, but as an example, if they came in, they would probably scare him off. So I think the least likely are wild dogs. They may get attracted to the scent and come and investigate, but I really don't think they would chase the cheetah off. But all others absolutely would. I thought you would move, boy. Now we can't really see you. We forget sometimes that it's a harsh world out here. We go to the grocery store, we pick our food, we use Uber Eats, we can just press a button on our phone and food gets delivered. But out here, you've got to prepare for a hunt. You've got to find the individual that you're going to take down. You've got to be successful in that hunt, whether it's with speed and a cheetah or ambushing like a leopard. You've got to be quiet. You've got to sort of sneak up. Then you've got to take down your prey. You've got to make sure your prey doesn't get away. It's not easy in the wild, so if there's an opportunity to steal, they all will steal. I feel like this is a fresh kill. The smell's not bad at all. I feel like he's just opening it from the rear end, which is quite common. It's the easiest way to get into the inner organs. Yeah, I think this is fresh from this morning. I think he took it down this morning, once the sun came up. Which means if nothing comes along to steal it, it could be here for a few days. Noelle, I appreciate your question, but I have no idea. We get asked this a lot. It depends on so many factors. How full he was? Was he starving and ravenous? I believe he did have an impala just the other day. Is he going to hold on to it? Is he going to lose it? Is he going to sort of just eat it in little bites? It's impossible to say. It's also very difficult from this angle to see the size. It's definitely a water buck. I think it's a juvenile, but it's very difficult to see how big it is. So obviously, bigger kills are going to take longer to eat. Sometimes cheetah can sit on kills multiple days if nothing comes across and chases them away. Sometimes they leave it if they're full. So really, Noel, it's very difficult to answer that question. But if it is a juvenile water buck and he can hold on to it through the night, he might just be on it tomorrow. Sometimes you'll see leopards, for example, in the Sabi Sand that kill, but they're not hungry right away. They just had an opportunity. They seized it. They've hoisted their kill, but they're not going to eat. And it goes back to what I'm saying, it's not easy. So if an opportunity comes your way, you will take it. And when Dovey and I saw that awful, awful wild dog kill last time we were here, the dogs had actually just eaten. They'd just killed. They were very tired and they were resting. But a wildebeest with a brand newborn calf just ended up walking right into them. The mum didn't realize the dogs were there, and therefore the dogs seized that opportunity. Of course they did. A wildebeest calf, a brand new one, just walked right into them. But they weren't actually hungry, if that makes sense. They just fed. And winter's coming. It's going to get tough. The grass is going to thin out and die off. The vegetation, some of it's going to lose its leaves. It's not going to be so easy to hide for some predators. Everyone's going to have to congregate around specific water holes. Those little puddles and pans and area of water, well, they might dry up. They will dry up. Winter's going to bring about a different energy. I love winter. Yes, it's cold, but I love the sightings that winter brings. Yeah, he's just opened his gill. Cecil, that's a very strange question. However, they do, you say predators. Remember that there are mammalian predators, avian predators, fish predators, insect predators. So predator is a term for any animal that eats another animal or hunts another animal. So with regards to some birds, raptors, they just take chunks whole. Snakes, swallow it whole. Cheetahs, chew. They're a lot smaller, but they may, if they're really in a big rush, they may not chew as thoroughly as they should. Then you get the likes of hyenas, who, they definitely don't chew. They chew in the bones, but when it comes to the meat, they just swallow it whole. So again, predators is a term that we sometimes forget refers to many organisms. Any organism that hunts another, really. We tend to think of the predators as just the big cats out here. But most of the cats chew. But just like us, when we're hungry, we probably don't chew like we should. Have you ever been really ravenous and the food finally comes and you just wolf it down? When in actual fact, you probably should be chewing. Makes it a little bit easier on the digestive system if you chew. Victor, I know, I'm actually lost. I was a bit lost there just watching him. I got a bit transfixed. He's really tucking, and I think again fresh kill wasn't opened. He was resting, and he's going in through the rear end, which I know doesn't sound very pleasant to us, but it's an easy way to get in, either that or the tummy. And he'll go for the inner organs first. The inner organs house all the nutrients, all the vitamins and minerals and micros and macros and all the things that he needs will be housed in the organs. It's not so easy going through the skull or going through shoulder blades. So it's normally the soft part of the tummy or the sort of rear end genitalia area, and that's what he's doing. But he's hungry. I feel like he's got something stuck there, something that he didn't quite want. So delightful. Andrew, the video guy, yes. I think if you put that much effort into your meal, you'd love it too. Oh yes, he's hungry. Imagine really though the energy it takes to get your food like that. It's phenomenal. And if you're not good at hunting, then you're not going to eat and you're not going to survive. You've got no choice but to catch your own food out here. And ain't guard it. Eat but also listen, eat but also look, eat but also smell. It is sort of daylight, and the chance of a nocturnal animal coming on by to steal is reduced due to the heat, but don't let that fool you. A hyena could easily rock up here. The lions could easily catch a whiff of this. It's a fresh kill. He's probably living on a knife edge here, but oh yes, Andrew the video guy, he's loving it. He's hungry.
Here on Wild Earth, we're on 25 different platforms globally, and we're looking at each of them to see what is the best mix for the future. Please take 30 seconds of your time to fill in this survey. It will be super helpful for us. The last thing we want is for your viewing habits to be affected. Thanks.
Yeah, now that I know that's definitely a water buck, I think that's the mom we saw earlier. Oh, and she's running behind the vehicle. Rian won't be able to get a view from here, but that's what he was looking at. Oh, it's a little bit sad. Mom must understand on some level what's happened. He's really watching. He's able to... Yeah, she's very close to the car now. Moments like this are hard. Although we know that Cheetah needs to eat and survive, we also know that a mother has just lost his calf, or her calf. I'm taking a break from eating now, Splinter. My comms just broke up there, but I know, leopard lover, you are seeing something. I shall just wait to hear it one more time. If you just look behind me, you'll see Mom. Yes, leopard lover, it is good that they're being successful, but when you see what I'm about to show you, that's sort of an aspect that's a little bit sad. That's Mom. She's been in the area since we arrived. But yes, leopard lover, of course, it is a good thing that cheetahs are being successful here. We had a female on a kill yesterday. Mr. Splinter has had 2 kills in a few days. We had the 2 Pinda boys on the zebra foal. So of course, but this element's hard. I guess there's always 2 sides to the coin in nature. Survival is tough. Roshan, life in the wild is tough. It is sad. It's not easy to see some of the things that we see out here. Nature's nature, but it can sometimes be very difficult to watch. I've had some sightings where I have personally really, really struggled. We're definitely going to sit here with Splinter. We're not leaving him. That's our sighting for today. But we are going to send you guys over to Lisa, who's now in Okokoyo.
Thank you, Lauren. What a way to be spending the day with a cheetah with a kill. Oh man, I can't remember when last I saw a cheetah in the wild. It's been a minute. But just look at this beautiful day we are having in Okokoyo. Blue skies, fluffy clouds, and animals all around. Springboks, zebra, wildebeest, you name it, they are here. Well, of course, not all of them. We are still missing the elands and the oryx and the elephants and the rhinos and the lions and the cheetahs and the leopards, but I think this is definitely a brilliant start to our day in Okokoyo. Oh, and a lapwing, look at that. Good morning. The lapwing is this beautiful tiny black and white bird that we see on this side of the waterhole. And they are called blacksmith lapwings, which is derived from the fact that when they call or vocalize, it's like a ding, 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 ding. And that is where the blacksmith comes from. Zebras, don't start your nonsense today. I am not in the mood to cry again. Just look at that. Cooling off, quenching their thirst, getting a fright. The baby was the clever one, or the foal. I'm out of here first. The crocodile can get y'all. And this tiny bird on the water surface itself, that of course is the little grebe, or many people still refer to them as dabchicks. It's one of my favorite birds, and I'm yet to see a dabchick chick.
Where is he going?
But remember, we would love to hear from you. Please do get in touch with us. Goodness. Let me know what you would like to discuss today, what you would like to know about these animals, about the location, Okokoyo itself. I am very excited to have some good conversations with all of you. I wonder if the animals remember how deep the water is, because you'll see specifically with the oryxes, they just sort of come into the water and they go right up into the middle, or they walk right through the water hole. Surely they must remember, okay, well, we were here yesterday and the water level was pretty fine. Because they only start hesitating when they come more or less to the middle. Look at the wind. Goodness, we are going to be blowing away here today as well. Joe, you would like to know, how do the animals know that it is safe to go into the water? They don't. Unfortunately, as horrible as that is. And you'll see often, like we saw a couple of moments ago with the zebras, you know, one reacted and all of them also followed. So they really constantly always have to be monitoring and observing one another as well. Not just the zebras. I mean, all of the animals have to observe each other. If one animal reacts, all of them have to. And even, you know, if it's a cry wolf situation 10 times in 1 hour, they can't risk not evading or escaping whatever may have potentially been a threat. Perhaps it's just a fish swimming past them or something and they get a fright. For those of you that have actually swam in waterholes or lakes or dams or rivers, it's a very, very strange feeling. Even the ocean, when there's some plankton or something coming past you, it's not the best feeling. But if you don't react every single time, and the 10th time that all of the animals react, and it really is a lion or leopard or even a crocodile, which we've not seen in this waterhole, but anything's possible, then they cannot risk not escaping or reacting or running away, because that's how you become food, unfortunately. So they don't know that the water is safe. You'll see as soon as they, and with this oryx entering the waterhole now, for instance, I think they definitely, and again, this comes to their intelligence. Often we want to talk about and refer to animal intelligence. They are not at all stupid, and I'm not referring just to one, a wildebeest or an oryx or a springbok. That oryx that just entered the water did not for 1 minute pause now. So surely he must realize Okay, well, Fred and Harry and Sarah and Bob are in the water hole. It must be safe. Let me go in as well. It's almost like humans, you know, there's always the first to sacrifice going into the pool and then convince the rest. It's not that cold, I swear. Once you're in, it's fine. But surely there must definitely be a lot of intelligence as well. A lot of observation that goes into it, understanding. But what a peaceful day. You'll see there is a little bit of cloud cover coming in. Which, I don't think is really something to get excited about in terms of expecting rain. But you never know. Mother Nature is a very, very strange thing. Sometimes when you think it's not going to rain, it completely just all of the sudden pours down. And then other times vice versa, and I'm sure you'll agree with me wherever you find yourself in the world. The weather patterns have really changed. And even when they say, okay, well, we can expect rain later today, it's not always the case. Even yet, Ukukoyo, you know, there's been heavy cloud cover, and I've really gotten so excited, thinking, woohoo, we're finally going to get some more rain for the animals, get some nice green grass going on for them again, and then it's literally like the clouds just decide, shall we take a detour? That's why I just take everything as it comes. On my safaris, the lodge that I worked at was very prepared. They gave us everything, but of course, you know, you still had to pack your own car because we didn't have trackers or anything. So everything with regard to preparation for the guests, with drinks, with equipment, binoculars, everything on the vehicles, you had to put there yourself. It's not going to magically appear. And my colleagues always mocked me because I would always, I don't care if it's 45 degrees Celsius or 10 degrees Celsius, I will always have a blanket for each of the guests and an extra on the vehicle, as well as a poncho. And a lot of the times, you know, you did go out on safari thinking, oh, it's so hot. And then by the time you get back to the lodge, by the end of safari, it's freezing. My mom always says rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Woo, you see, like that. One reacted, and all of them has to react as well. Terry, I too love it when they line up like this. It's incredible. And again, you know, we'll always wonder why. Why do animals line up? Why do they walk in a single file? And there's a lot of reasoning for it. I don't want to say reasons, cause who are we to decide? But I would love to hear your reasoning as to why you think animals tend to line up when they are walking towards a waterhole, when they are lining up at the actual waterhole, which is actually two very different, well, to some extent it's for various reasons. And for those of you that have actually been on a walking safari with a qualified guide, you will most probably make the connotation, because there's one rule when you are actually taking guests out on safari, and that is that you are not allowed to walk in one big bundle. You have to walk in a single file, and you have to follow and stay behind the guide. And the reason for that is, let's say you are 8 people on this walking safari, including the guide and the backup guide as well. Walking in one single file, if you are, let's say, let's make this a dangerous one. Let's say you encounter a very, very old buffalo bull. If you are walking as one big bundle, that animal does not realize, oh, it's just a bunch of humans being silly and being in my area. That animal just sees this big group of things walking towards him and immediately feels intimidated, immediately feels the need to have to protect and defend itself. So walking in one single file sort of just makes one long file for that animal, and it's more organized for the animal as well to see that, okay, well, it's not this big bundle of things that want to threaten me or want to attack me. And I've been on walking safaris where people actually break that rule. But now with animals, you'll see a lot of the times when the animals are coming specifically on the game path. Let's see if I can show you the game path that is on the right. For the most part, even the elephants, for the most part, they walk in a line. And then as soon as they come to the water, then they spread out. Yes, of course, that's for space. But walking in a single file for other animals just makes them seem like one big line of something. And then as soon as they come to the waterhole, yes, then they do spread out for space as well. But then it's also the concept of the more animals there are, the bigger it seems and the more intimidating it seems. Just like when we as humans make the mistake of walking in a bundle when you're on a walking safari in a natural environment. But as I say, that's just my reasoning behind it. If you have another reason that you think animals do that, why do they generally walk in a line when they come to the water and leave the waterhole, and then as soon as they get here, they spread out? What would be your reasoning for that?
It's blending. That's around. Red.
Good morning, wildebeest. Care to be a springbok or a zebra today? And this is what I'm saying. How do these animals know The wildebeest is not going to eat the springbok. The springbok's not going to eat the elephants. Not that anything is intimidating for an elephant, really, but you catch my drift. How do they know? And a lot has got to do with the senses, but I do believe that a lot of it does have to do with pheromones as well. Predators must surely release certain pheromones as opposed to other animals. And again, there can be a lot of reasoning behind that. Could it be because of their diet? That they are predominantly carnivores? And I'm not going to delve into that too much, but I know that is the general belief amongst humans as well. You know, that people say, some people, especially if you're Afrikaans, and I don't mean to generalize, but say that, you know, eating meat is good for you because it's protein, etc., etc., etc. I've probably never, let me just think about this clearly now, but I don't think I've ever met an Afrikaans person. I'm lying. My one sister is a vegetarian. But we love eating meat in South Africa, just in general. But across the board, there are people that say meat is not healthy for you. You should just be a herbivore, and you should just be eating vegetables and fruits and the organic things. And I would actually like to do some research on that tonight, now that I'm thinking about it. Do you give off different scents if you take a vegetarian? And I'm talking about the lesser spotted Homo sapiens now. If you take a vegetarian and you take someone that eats both meat and vegetables and fruits and everything else, do their bodies function differently, and therefore do they give off different scents? Because then I would definitely, you know, be able to say that yes, it must surely be the same with animals. That's why they give off the different pheromones. And I'm just speculating. I'm literally just spitballing here. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a wildlife vet. But that's the amazing thing about what we do, you know. As soon as you start thinking about one thing, it's sort of a chain reaction. You want to know more about the animals. And that's what I love about what we do. You will never know everything. I don't care how qualified you are, how many safaris you've conducted or even gone on. There's always something more to learn and to wonder about and to explore and discover and research. But anyway, that's just my mind running away with me for the day. I wonder if we will see some elephants here today, and I do apologize if it shakes a little bit. The wind is quite rough here today as well. Lenny, are you still with us? I love when you guys spend the whole Escape to Nature with us. You would like to know, Lenny, are llamas related to African antelope? Lenny, you were asking difficult questions on a weekend. Could you not have asked me this in the week? I don't know, Lenny. I don't know because I have zero experience with llamas. I love them. I love seeing them in movies. But unfortunately, I have zero experience with them. But if any of you know, please do tell me. I would love to learn about that. That's a very interesting question. I always think of llamas when I look at the waterbuck, Lenny. But I'll also do some research on my side, and then I will get back to you. But I love that question. I love when you guys challenge us. I love when we are actually able to be honest and say, I don't know. Because then you want to know. For me, I'm sitting here like, are they not? And it's good to ask these questions. We don't have llamas in South Africa, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't be caring about them. All of the animals, wherever you find yourself, in the United States, in Germany, wherever we find ourselves, we have to care about all of these animals, whether they are birds, insects, reptiles, all of them matter. So I will get back to you, Lenny. That is a very interesting question.
We hope that when you watch Wild Earth, you will fall in love with nature. We know that our explorers share a passion for nature and want to make a difference. Wild Earth Schools is back. Sign up to be an explorer and your subscription will help us reach the future conservationists of our planet. Invest in something that truly matters, encouraging children to care for our beautiful wild Earth. Wild Earth Explorers, make a difference.
And pardon my silence from time to time. As you all know, this is what we do on Escape to Nature. Every now and again, we just take a moment just to appreciate everything that's going on around us. Look at the wind in that beautiful leadwood tree. Look at the behavior of the animals. Do they perhaps know there's some rain coming? Are they wary of the wind, or are they just carrying on as normal? Puma, thank you so much. Puma or Puma. Llamas are camelids, so related to camels, not antelope. Thank you so much for that. I actually just researched it myself as well. But thank you. That makes a lot of sense now. And I mean, if you think about the anatomy and everything, the characteristics and everything, it does make sense. I have a question for all of you. And again, this is something, yes, I can Google it, I can research it myself, but I would love to hear from you because I'm sure many of you have experience with this. And I apologize sincerely if I sound very silly now or very uneducated. Are llamas and alpacas related? Are they closely related if so? If not, please do tell me what the differences are between them. Are they found in different areas? And again, I can research this, but I love learning from all of you as well. I say every single day, we are not just here every day to push a bunch of information down your throats. Ooh, that was beautiful. We want to learn from you as well. I personally want to learn as much as I can from all of the animals across the globe. But for me, I learn best when I'm interacting. Even if we're not in person right now, I would love to know from you. Please tell me, are llamas and alpacas related? Alrighty, but while I wait for your answers on that, I'm going to send you over to Lauren so we can see what's the update that side.
Our cheetah has gone flat, taking a snooze for the afternoon. And I was talking earlier about how tough it is out here in the wild, from our human perspective, of course. And we have the luxury of just being able to go into a grocery store. We don't have to rely on being quiet. We just go in and we acquire the food that we want or we need for the day or the week. And because of that element that we don't have to stalk or hunt or tiptoe or be quiet, we've become quite verbal beings. But if you think about it, there's a lot of non-verbal communication that we do on a daily basis. Actually, the majority of communication that humans do each day is non-verbal. And what I mean by that is hand gestures, eye contact, body posture, facial expressions. We actually communicate constantly to transmit our feelings and emotions and everything through non-verbal communication, and sometimes we're not even consciously aware of it. Because we are so verbal and we love to talk, humans love to put words together into great sentences. We've got so many different languages across the world, that we forget that we're also communicating non-verbally a lot of the time. And of course, animals do too. Yes, some animals vocalize, but most communication that goes on every single day between most species is non-verbal. You've got visual communication. Vision isn't just looking. It's perceiving in front of you and understanding what's in front of you. Auditory. Tactile. Chemical. Point them because they're not verbal. And when it comes to cheetahs, it's really fascinating because we live in such an interconnecting world and we can just link up with friends really easily. WhatsApp, we even broadcast through WhatsApp sometimes, believe it or not. That's really cool. Broadcast from the wild on WhatsApp. But animals, they obviously don't have that luxury, and yet they can still locate one another from extremely far away. They don't have apps or gadgets or technology. They are just separated from each other, sometimes for really long periods of time, and they can still relocate each other. And that's actually mind-blowing. Yes, you can say they hear each other, the lions are calling. Great, lions can. What about cheetahs? What about the cats that are silent? That don't saw or roar? Well, cheetahs quite simply follow their nose. That is how incredible they are. They don't stay in one place and wait for each other. They don't meet at designated spots. There's no Facebook invite here. They use their nose. And there's a fantastic example I'm going to share with you. And it's about a coalition of cheetahs, 3 boys that are actually quite famous, or they were. And it's Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn. Yes, I'm sure I don't need to explain those names to you. And they were a coalition that were quite strong bonds, and they always stayed within sort of 300 feet of one another. But at one point, Aragorn, the handsome one, broke away from the coalition. And he ended up spending the next 31 days alone, absolutely miles away from his coalition mates. 31 days is quite a long time. That's a month. Now, they do meet up. I'm sort of giving you a spoiler here. They do meet up. But the day before they met up, they were collared. The boys were still 9 miles apart. 9 miles. Then Mr. Aragorn looped around the area a couple of times and he was searching. He's searching for his friends. When you look at the movements on the map, you can see that he's looping. He's looking for something. And he finally bumped into the other 2. And it seems, when you look at the drawings on the map, that it's a random spot. But of course, it's not random. Cheetah behavior is actually quite rare for the coalition to split for longer than 2 days on average. So 31 days is a really, really long time. And we already know that cheetahs don't vocalize. They're not panthera. They don't project their vocalizations. They are more soft and chirpy. So that contact call's not going to travel over 9 miles or even further. Yes, they do have keen eyesight, but not that good. They're not going to see each other for over 9 miles away. So it's not the audio, it's not the eyes. There was absolutely no doubt about it that it was smell. The paper where I read this example also stated that the chance of the animals randomly sort of happening upon one another was less than 1%. So you've checked out the randomness, you've checked out the other senses. Seems that they found each other through their nose. Why they stayed apart for so long, we don't know. But that's incredible, and that's the power of scent. So he needs to pick up on their scent to be able to follow it, but he's able to follow his nose back to where his brothers were after 31 days. He most likely is using other senses as well, Mr. Aragorn. He's mostly using a combination of senses. No animal is ever solely just using one. I'm just using my vision right now. No, you're still listening. You're still smelling. So he most likely was using a combination, but it was his nose that led him back to his brothers. Non-verbal communication. And that's vast distances over a long time, and I just find that really, really mind-blowing. And for cheetahs, males use different spatial tactics. So you get the floaters, like Splinter, who will roam over vast areas. But then you get the territory holders, and that's more likely the coalitions who will be territorial. They will mark and they will actively defend. So in order to mark your territory, you can't put a fence up. You're a cheetah. How do you mark it? Scent. How do you tell all the other cheetahs, hey guys, this is mine, stay away? Scent. How do they make maps in their head? I know that if I go down here, I reach Croc Drift, then I get onto Airstrip Road. If I go south, I end up on the airstrip. I know where to go. I'm creating a map from reading maps. But that's visual. They create maps in their mind from scent. They can map the entire area of their territory, but it's not visual. He's not recognizing the sickle bush. He's recognizing the scent that is there in that sickle bush. It's amazing. Constant communication with each other and the natural environment around them. And it's all just non-verbal. Randy, you think that was fascinating? Absolutely, you're welcome. It's because we are so interconnected. We're so connected to our gadgets. Even me on the vehicle right now. I've got my Kindle. I've got my work phone. I've got my personal phone. I'm trying to think what else we have. We have cameras. We're so full of tech and gadgets and things that can do it for us that we forget the fundamentals. And I think a lot of people forget sometimes about non-verbal communication and how prevalent it is in our daily lives. We just don't really pay attention to it. Maybe we don't even realize we're doing it, or we don't even realize we're picking up on it. I mean, animals haven't exactly mastered advanced language like us, but they've mastered communication, maybe even better. I fear our boy may be flat for the rest of the day. We can't really do much about getting a better view of him, I'm afraid. We're going to work with what we have. But he obviously filled a little hole in his tummy and he's resting again. There's still so many butterflies dancing around, which is wonderful, and they may just land on the water buck. Butterflies will drink blood. It's a bit shocking to see at first. You think, oh, wow, they can't eat from the carcass, but they can drink. and they will drink blood. It contains a lot of nutrients that can actually benefit the butterfly. So they are drawn to carcasses. But I'm not sure this little water buck is actually open enough right now. Mama Waterbuck is still walking. Oh, she's still looking for a little one. I don't know if she knows where it is. So sad. Yeah, Mama Waterbuck is just gone behind the thicket. We'll be able to show you her in a minute, but she's not leaving. That's what keeps wakening him up. He's trying to nap, but he can hear her walking around. Leopard lover, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I don't even know where to start. I just wish Mom would just... There have been moments in my career where I have cried. I have cried on drive, not happy tears. I cried of happiness when I saw Ribbon's cubs, but obviously we don't show emotion. We don't present with emotion, but I just feel so much. I'm quite an emotional person anyway, that when you do see something so incredibly sad, it's of course we feel it. We feel sympathy, we feel empathy. We're humans after all, but there are just some sightings to this day. I mean, I'm going into my 5th year of... I think this is a mum here. Yeah, that's definitely Mum. She's getting closer. Yeah, leopard lover, these are the hard days. And for any of you that say that animals don't feel, my goodness, this is a mother desperately looking for her offspring. Desperately. I mean, we've been here maybe 2 hours now. 2 hours. And she's just been circling the whole time. Yep. She just spotted him. I'm not sure if you heard that alarm call, but Mama has just spotted the cheetah. Oh, this keeps getting worse at this side. But on a more positive note, we are going to send you guys all the way over to the Eastern Cape to say good morning to Andrew.
Now turn off, Mark. Good morning, good morning. Hello everybody. Again, welcome to Amakhala Game Reserve on the Escape to Nature experience. Sorry about that. We're just trying to contemplate what this elephant bull wants to do over here. Hello everybody, my name's Andrew and I still have Morgan behind the camera, and we are so happy because we found the elephants. It's been a struggle this morning, but yeah, let's just roll forward a little bit. Remember, we need to try and maintain 15 meters. That's the reserve rules, so that's what we've been trying to do. Okay, let me start this vehicle quickly. There we go. So you should be walking through the bush there. How's that? Good, Morgan? That should do the trick. Yo, he is a magnificent bull and he's in full must at the moment as well. So we need to really be careful with him. Now the females, they were here, they were drinking water at one of the pans, but they've now gotten up and have walked into the bush, and he's just tailing from behind there. Now, although he's in must, he's actually very calm. And usually, you know, some other elephant bulls, when they go into full must, they can be, you know, quite aggressive. Got another one over here, Morgan. Check that out. How cool is this? Got another bull over here. Look at his ear. It's all tattered up. What happened to your ear? Last time I saw this elephant, his ear wasn't like that. Okay, so he is getting closer than 15 meters. We'll just give it a few more seconds. I was going to keep my eye on the other bull. I don't want him to go behind us. Okay, so let me just start up for a sec. This looks like upstairs, eh? That's him. Looks like him. No, it's not even him. That's another broken tusk. Is this? Who is this? Not Corley, no. No, Corley was the other one that just passed. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know all the elephants by name. Okay, so I just want to reverse the vehicle just a little bit more, see if we can't get another angle here. So, it's a bit of a windy, windy road, this. Okay, now the bush starts to get pretty thick here. Okay, let me just put in some high range gear. Okay, so we've got a little gap here. Is that good for you, Morgan? A little bit more. That's good. Yeah, this is not an easy road to view elephants because the road is pretty windy and windy, and then also the bush is extremely thick here. How cool. Now it's starting to warm up very nicely compared to the last few days, so I think the elephants are definitely making the most of it now. Their bodies are nice and warm and they can actually enjoy the day opposed to hiding from that cold, cold wind. What is he doing? Looks like he's just stopped now, probably thinking. We've been seeing a lot of him lifting his leg and swaying it from side to side. This is what we refer to as complacent behavior. It's an elephant that is deep in thought, and that's exactly what he is in now, because I reckon it's because the other bull is somewhere nearby him. And just like that, they disappear. Incredible. Okay, let's give it a few moments. Jessica, you're 13 years old. Thank you so much for your question. You're the very first question I've received today, so big ups. So the population here, it's pretty good. There's the other bull now. Just trying to think, because there's some new calves, the last stats that I saw. I should think there's close to 30, somewhere around there, or maybe 25, something like that. That's a total of 3 family groups. And I'm not sure, Jessica, if you've seen the young calf yet, but we did see it the other day and yesterday. Now there's actually 2 young calves. One's about 5 weeks old, born on roughly the 3rd of April, and then there's another one that's slightly younger than that. You can just hear that one bull. He's munching away, ripping off a few branches. Just listening to a few cicadas that are rattling away here. There's also a Cape turtle dove. You can hear that kukurku. Yeah, so as I was saying, the young calf elephant is born on the 3rd of March. So if anybody is born on the 3rd of March, let us know, because you'd be sharing your birthday with a young elephant calf at Amakhala. But speaking of birthdays, I'm sure you're all aware, but it is Wild Earth's birthday coming up. And that's going to be celebrated on the 27th of April, 16 years old. So definitely come a long way. And if you'd like to send us some videos and a few things like that to help us celebrate, you can do so at birthday@wildearth.tv. And while you're watching these beautiful elephants, something that I want to tell you is that I know that Jessica is watching, but there's going to be many different other kids that are going to be watching as well. So I've got a surprise for you all. I don't know exactly when I'm going to do it. I'm going to be waiting for a very warm day to do it. But I'm going to make a plaster cast of a footprint. I'm going to teach you all how to do it. So we'll give you some more information closer to the time when I plan to do it. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some plaster of Paris, mix it with water and make a bit of cement. We're going to find a nice animal track, and then we're going to pour the cement into the animal track and wait a while until it dries. Then we're going to dust it off, and I'm going to show you the print. And so if you want to make any casts of footprints of maybe your dogs or your cat at home, whatever the case may be, this will be your time to tune in, and I'll teach you all exactly how to do it step by step. And that will be done we'll be doing it in the next few days. I know there's going to be a 35-degree day coming up. I'm just going to check when exactly that's going to be. And I reckon that is going to be the day that we're going to do it. Which day is that? Monday. See, it's so awesome to have a co-pilot here. Morgan knows exactly when that hot day is going to be. It's going to be on Monday. Where are we now? Friday? Saturday? Yeah.
On April 27th, Wild Earth will be celebrating a very special birthday. It's our sweet 16. We want to celebrate you, our viewers who have been with us every step of the way.
I just appreciate you so much.
Send in your birthday wishes so we can include you in the celebrations.
Happy birthday, Wild Earth!
Video yourself saying happy birthday to Wild Earth with a short note and share them with us on birthday@wildearth.
I can just hear a few of the thorns brushing up against one of these elephants over here. Oh, it's him. He's actually trying to... I'm not sure what he's doing. He's definitely feeding. Looks like he's going to go deeper in there. And just like that, disappearing. Look at those trees moving. Okay, we're just going to sit tight for now. We're just going to see if maybe one of the other elephant bulls doesn't come out into the open through the gaps in the bush here. So we actually touched base a few days ago about the elephant's brain and actually how similar it is to a human's brain. So with elephants, and I know that they are ginormous animals, and I remember when I first saw elephants when I was a young man, maybe I was about 4 or 5 years old, I looked at this ginormous animal and I was immediately scared because it's so big. It could probably just flatten me with one little squash. But over time you realize that they are so gentle, that they are really gentle giants. And so their brain has been studied, and it is very similar to a human's brain in the sense of the cortexes in the brain. So the bulls, or the elephants, much like human beings, they have got this very well-developed frontal lobe, which is in the front of the skull, which sort of controls the thoughts and emotions of the animal. And you often see this with animals, with elephants, that they're constantly thinking, that they are emotional animals. Not to say that they're sad, but they do feel things like excitement, sadness. They feel anger as well. Anything really that emotionally that you would feel, we see this with elephants as well. But then also one of the cortexes called the hippocampus is very well developed, and that is said to control sympathy and empathy of the animal, and they are incredibly compassionate animals. There's numerous videos that have gone around of elephants saving antelopes from being attacked by predators and things like that. There's one that was filmed, I'm not sure if it was in Zambia, I'm not really sure, but this crocodile had an impala, and it was busy trying to drown it, and this elephant bull went straight into the water and flushed the crocodile. Crocodile let go of its grip, and the impala, who was badly damaged, sadly, got onto the shore, but I don't know if it survived. What's also interesting is sometimes you see this with predators. Sometimes a predator catches a small lamb antelope or a calf and tends to mother it and not attack it for a period of time. And the idea behind that is it's more than likely a predator that has lost its cubs or pups or whatever the case may be. And the motherly instincts are still incredibly strong, and therefore it might try and mother certain small animals like antelopes and so on. Right, but we're going to send you over to Lisa in the meantime. I believe she's at the Djuma Dam Camp.
Thank you, Andrew. I hope everyone has their seatbelts fastened, as our Zoomy just said. The wind is still very much with us here in Djuma, but so is our baby waterbuck. Look how cute. Oh, no. And again, it's a common species. This is not an endangered species. It's not something we don't see too often, but how adorable is that? You cannot tell me that is not one of the cutest animals out here when they are babies. However, that being said, if you ask me, I think everything is cute, so. But what is your favorite baby animal? And as I say, it's always a difficult question for me. I love them all. Zebras, wildebeest, waterbuck, impalas, elephants. Literally all of the animals. But this one, oh, this one has really crept into my heart. And it was the most adorable moment now, a couple of minutes ago. He was actually, I was joking with our Zoomy helping us out and saying, oh, it's cuddle time. But it almost looked like he wanted to push his mother away, like saying, come on, let's stand up, let's get active, Mom. I've got a lot of energy. So Mom is not too far away. But isn't it amazing? This small creature already knows exactly where he wants to be grazing. What to do if there's danger, what to do if Mommy says or snorts or make an alarm call. And the rest of the waterbucks are also still around. They've actually all more or less become a little bit more active and started feeding. Unfortunately, they cannot lie down the whole day regurgitating. There's only so much nutrients you can get from regurgitating, but also, you know, just stretching the legs. Often animals, just like us, you know, their legs can go to sleep. If they sit too long or if they sit too long in one certain position, they definitely will start feeling uncomfortable. So then they'll just get the blood circulating again. Move around, especially if you're baby waterbuck, you've got a lot of energy. But just so amazing. So from my side, with regard to the research I did on llamas and alpacas, I did not find out a whole lot. Alpacas are also part of the camel family. For the most part, the research I found just said, you know, the main differences comes with regard to their looks and their hair and all of that. But, oh, just look at that. Hi, Mom. But a lot of people do confuse the two. Oh, Meerkat, our Zoomy helping us out, is saying that baby meerkats are irresistible. Yes, of course you would say that. You love meerkats. But they are. I'm going to agree with you on that one. A baby meerkat is adorable. But so is this waterbuck, and so are lions, and elephants, and zebras, and giraffes, and oh, the list goes on and on and on. They really just are unique in their own ways. Okay, Mom, I will nap again, but only for a little bit. Because you have to remember, I'm a baby, I have more energy than you, and I want to explore and see everything, so we can't sleep the whole day, Mom. This reminds me of a conversation I had with my cat yesterday, but it was just the other way around. I was preaching to her that she can't sleep the whole day. Yes, I'm just going to get another bite while I'm lying here. That is the epitome of efficiency. Resting and eating simultaneously. That's brilliant. I love that. Mim, how adorable is this, right? I'm so happy that you are still with us on Escape to Nature. And it's amazing, as I say, you know, all of these animals, we get to be a part of their journey. They don't know it. They don't care, I can promise you that much. But seeing all of these animals grow up, even the parrots that are busy nesting, the baby elephant, the tiny, tiny baby elephant that we saw in Ukukoya on Monday, all of this is just, it's amazing to think that we get to be a part of their lives. Watch them grow up. Watch them become confident. For me, I'm loving... Sorry, I thought I saw something behind that one bush. For me personally, I love watching my ribs right now because you can see there's definitely an increase in his confidence, the way he moves around. And all of these animals, again, it doesn't just have to be the big, fluffy, hairy mammals. All of them. They're spectacular to be able to spend time with and just watch. Oh dear. Bow, 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 bow. Da-na-na-na. I don't know the words to that song, but that is what came to mind now. And you hear me on a daily basis saying, oh, I wish we could be like animals in that regard. But this is where I'm thankful. Luckily, we don't have to go through this whole process. You can see as she was urinating, he is tasting her urine and testing to see if she is ready to be mounted. And these are the two that I was referring when we started Escape to Nature. Absolutely incredible. And again, apologies. We can control a lot of things, but not the weather. So the wind is shaking us around a little bit, as you can see and hear. It's just so peaceful. We just quickly want to check in on the parrots. Perhaps they show themselves now. Gooey, wakey wakey. This is not the honeymoon suite. You are past that phase. You are busy nesting. You have to show yourselves. We need to know that you are all right. Ooh, what's wrong, Mom? Look at the baby's face. Is that supposed to be walking like that? And you can see how fluffy this baby is. Oh, that's actually, something I've never touched is a baby, or really any water buck, to be honest with you. But just look at fluffiness in the neck. Of course, as the water buck gets bigger, the hair will also grow. It looks like it's got one of those very, very poofy, expensive scarves on. Wait, Mom. Mom, I'm coming. Woman, wait. I told you, love. You have to keep up with Mommy. Yes, but you distracted me. There was something happening at camp, and then I had to watch that, and then you just started walking. You can't just walk away. I need a warning. This is how you learn, my child. This is how you learn. And surely it must be a terrifying feeling. And again, you know, we're going into the human emotions and the connotations that we think we might have with animals as well. But I'm sure we've all experienced as a child, or perhaps with your own child, when you get separated in the grocery store or just in an aisle or something. It's a nerve-wracking moment. Surely that baby must feel... You see, he's gonna... Whoopsie, Mom, I'm coming. That's exactly what I mean. And then you walk up to the wrong woman thinking that's your mother. But I'm sure I don't have to remind any of you. It is Flora Fest at Wild Earth. So from the 13th to the 15th, which is today, of April. And we are celebrating that by having Steve do a medicinal plant preparation every afternoon on Sunset Safari. And of course, this is in celebration of International Plant Appreciation Day, which was on the 13th, and then Day of the Mushrooms is today. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sure many of you know that mushrooms are Trishala's favorite. So, no, I apologize. Day of the Mushrooms is tomorrow, the 16th. Oof, this is what happens when you're in the industry. You forget what day it is. But please do join us for that. And it's been very interesting. I definitely can tell you that I have in the past 2 or 3 safaris in the afternoons, I've definitely taken notes from Steve when he does the concoctions, or decoctions, I should say, the infusions with the different plant species. It has been very educational. Oh, just look at that small bottom amongst the big ones. How incredible. And I have to be honest with you, it's not often that we get to spend this much time with one particular group of waterbuck. Generally, you know, they come around, even if they are lying down, then for the most part they'll move off into the bush later the day, which they are doing now. But they've been around for quite some time, so it's really been so special. Mum, you agree. It's a privilege to be spending time with them, observing them. And as I say, with all of the animals, you know, whether we are seeing hyenas, zebras, waterbuck, mongoose, all of these animals are just so special. And our Zumi meerkat that's helping us out, we were just having this conversation as well. Because they were joking, saying, sorry, we don't have any aardvarks and honey badgers and everything to give. And I said, you know what? When we see quote unquote nothing, that is when we really start appreciating Mother Nature. So seeing these waterbucks, listening to the birds, hearing the wind, what a massive privilege. And for me personally, you know, appreciating everything from the very, very small things, from a flower to a mushroom to a shongololo to a waterbuck. that just makes the reward so much bigger when you do see elephants or when you do see lions and those big, impressive animals that everyone is always after. IG7, is it LG or IG7? I've always wondered. Please correct us if we are wrong, but you are saying great sighting and you love the narrating. Thank you. Thank you for enduring my voice. And thank you for spending time with us, appreciating the animals and, of course, all of your comments, your questions. But most of all, just having appreciation for these animals. I cannot tell you for me as an individual how much that means, because I really am worried about humans in general and how unfocused and unappreciative we've become of animals, Mother Nature, trees, plants, just everything. So just know that I appreciate all of you from the bottom of my heart. But please do correct me. Is it LG7 or IG7? I've always thought it's LG7. If that's a personal question, of course, you don't have to answer. I always just love getting to know all of you. But just look at that tiny one, how quickly it disappears in the long grass. And again, this is a mechanism that Mother Nature uses. The smaller animals will hunch down when it's cooler, when there's a threat around, but also they are smaller, so they camouflage easier in the summer because the grass is long, the vegetation is very lush, very, very lush right now, still in Djuma. I'm actually still surprised at how green and beautiful it still is. Generally around this time in the Greater Kruger or in the Bushveld, things definitely start to dry up. But we have been very fortunate with rainfall. Even my previous game reserve that I was on, that is about 2 hours, yes, 2.5 hours west from here, even they still have ample rain. A lot of the roads are still drenched. The bush is lush, the grass is long. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful to know that the animals still have food and water and everything that they need.
Towards the end of May, I'm going to be heading back to Djuma, which is one of my favourite places. Now, as many of you know, we need a little help keeping our operations going. For those of you who donate $100 or more, I'll take you on a private safari. It won't be entirely private, there may be 20 or so of you there. But you'll still be able to answer any questions that you might have. We'll visit all the places that you want to, and we'll look for all the characters that you'd like to see.
What a glorious day in Djuma. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. However, winter is very, very near. I don't know who of you joined us yesterday on Sunset Safari, but by the end of Safari, Trishala and Steve were blowing away. It is becoming very windy, it is becoming a little bit cooler. But this time of the day, it's for the most part still generally tolerable. However, I'm cold very easily, so I can't really speak for everyone. I wonder, what will we encounter on the last bit of Escape to Nature? It's been a fairly calm day, and that's what I love about Escape to Nature. Oh, this is super therapeutic. The wind, the water. But I will definitely continue watching our water holes, and for now I'm going to send you over to Lauren so we can see if she's got any update in Madikwe.
Splinter is fully resting in the shade. However, the water bucks here won't let him sleep. They're moving away now, but if we can just quickly take a look. I don't know if this is Mama. There are quite a few water bucks now, and there's a tiny little youngster. So I'm imagining that's this one's Mama. Ah, we've got wildebeest over there too. But wait till you see how small it is. And over here, they've been angry, they've been snorting, making everyone aware that there's a cheetah here. So I don't think that this is a mama of the kill, but there are just a lot of unhappy waterbuck around us. And they keep waiting to splinter up, and then he just goes back to sleep again. So we're dealing with a very flat cheetah right now. But please do send in your questions or anything you want to discuss about cheetahs or the surrounds, or waterbuck for that matter. Comms keep dropping. Did you get that question, Ryan? You have to repeat that again, see? See, always on a knife edge. He's panting heavily, he's hot. But from what I can see, he didn't have much of that border buck. He's probably going to sit on it all day, sleep throughout the hottest part of the day, and then go back to feeding on the kill. Cheetahs have the cutest yawns, in my opinion. They're just so cute. Yawning is not the cutest thing to watch in a human. I hate it when someone yawns in your face, but when animals do it, for some reason it's endearing. How can that be? I'm now thinking about yawning. There we go, there was another one. Are any of you yawning now that you're watching him? I wonder if he'll be here tomorrow. We won't be on the Sunset Drive, I'm afraid, but I wonder if he'll keep it overnight, because sometimes when I'm running around the camp, I see hyena tracks. I've seen spotted and brown. We heard spotted one morning, and I've seen brown tracks. I haven't actually seen the animal, but that means that they're moving on Makanyani. They're moving on this property. The lions, I'm sure there are lions on this property too. They were also heard last night. Where, I'm not sure. That's a little bit of a better view that you can see is a young water buck. I think it's a similar age to the one that we just saw with his mom. I always find it so nice when we're out on escape to nature and we can just sit. We don't have to leave sightings, we can just sit and enjoy them. And Kelly, you're right, he really is a stunning cheetah. Stunning, stunning. I've met him before, we've actually had him live before, but he was a sheer male then. And of course, we've just been really lucky with them recently. He's wandering around the northeast, which is our territory right now. Well, until tomorrow, that is. But yeah, what a stunning cheetah. It's interesting to see him on a young water buck. But that's obviously just what opportunity presented itself to him this morning. Just will not rest. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Is it the heat? Is it the flies? Is he nervous? Who knows? But he's not resting. Where are you off to, boy? I don't know where he's going. I don't know if he's just repositioning or if he's... I have no idea. Let's see. He does look really full. Maybe he's had more of this water buck than we realize. Ah, Splinter. Just repositioning. Just getting a comfier spot. Splinter, if you put your head down, we're going to see like 3 spots. Riley, you're asking, are there any new animals? Are there any animals in the new area that you won't find here? Trying to think what you mean, Riley. I'll wait for FC to help me out with that one, in case I get it all wrong. Oh, are you meaning tomorrow's area? Okay, sorry, that was not clear. I'm going to guess that you're referring to the part of Madikwe that we're moving to tomorrow. In comparison to where we are today. Okay. Yes, in a way. We are moving to central Madikwe. We are moving to one of my favorite spots in the whole reserve. I think it is unbelievably beautiful, called Ambush Alley. And it's a mountain range. It's exactly where the brown hyena den is. But of course, we get not a shred of signal there. So that's why we've never showed you it before. But that's where we're moving to. So we may hopefully see a lot of brown hyena activity. There are leopards reported on top of those mountains. Whether we get to see them or not, we're not sure. We may see more klipspringers. May see more mountainous species. May see different bird life. It's not too far away, but it's very much a different terrain, different habitat. So very, very possibly Riley. But we will just keep exploring. And if there's a great sighting here, we can always drive here. It's not like we're limited, but we will be moving to the central part of Madikwe. I'm very excited. And maybe we'll just film Ambush Alley for you one day, so at least you can just see it. It's so stunning. Probably won't get too many cheetahs. Lions, yes, of course. I think it'll be an exploration, and I definitely will be spending more time in the northwest, hopefully. Oh, it's been so great sitting in the shade next to this boy. I wonder if you'll get any sleep today. But as we watch him pant away, we're going to send you guys over to Lisa, who's now in Djuma.
We are just having a waterbuck kind of day. They are still here. Can you believe it? I think for me, this is definitely a first, on Djuma at least. Having such a lengthy time with the waterbucks. Yes, sometimes, you know, we observe them and they leave and then they come back a little bit. But they've just stuck around for us today. It's brilliant. Absolutely amazing. And you can see they are still very vigilant. Animals will display this type of behavior when it is windy, because they cannot always tell where smells and noises and sounds are always coming from, especially if the wind is profuse. Again, I don't know who of you were watching Sunset Safari last night. It was hectic by the end. And can you imagine, for an animal that could potentially at any time of the day or night become a meal to a predator, how nerve-wracking that must be. And for the most part, you know, that's why they'll just lie down at night, hunch together, or huddle together, I should say, and just try to listen the whole time. I personally would not be a very successful animal really any of the animals, whether it's prey or predators. Because when I fall asleep, I'm in a coma, so it would not work for me. Even as a lion, I would not know if there's another lion sneaking up on me. As a leopard, I would not know if there's another animal coming to steal my food. And therefore, I am a lesser spotted Homo sapien and not a waterbuck. But you can see constantly listening. And again, there definitely is that emotional intelligence. That mom knows, okay, well, I've got a youngster. Yes, I've got backup. I've got others to watch our backs as well. But she knows she constantly has to be even more alert now, even more vigilant, on edge, constantly being aware. That must be exhausting. That would not work for me. Hi, beautiful. Chewing with your mouth open. It's weekend. You're allowed to just laze around and have no manners.
From the 17th to the 22nd of April, Wild Earth is hosting Earth Week. Join us as we spend time with people who are making a difference on our planet. Earth Day is about diversifying, educating, and activating the environmental movement worldwide. Come along each day as we focus on different elements of our beautiful natural world and invest some of your time in the planet this Earth Week with Wild Earth.
And I sincerely hope none of my family members are listening. Because I've had many arguments with them about this. But this is why I say, this is why I don't want children. Because your whole life changes. This waterbuck cannot just eat for herself. She has to constantly look up, not just for herself, but for a youngster. Anyway, I'm going to send you over to Andrew, who's in Amakhala, so we can see what they are up to.
Oh, it sounds like Lauren has had some really good luck with cheetah out in Madikwe. I hope when I do end up back there, that maybe I get to see it. We out here just looking at some landscape at the moment, just scanning to see if we can find anything that's out here. And so far it's fairly quiet, but we do have a beautiful view of the bush here. Okay, we're gonna send you back to Lisa in the meantime.
Word on the street is you missed me too much. And you could not go without me. Sorry about that, everyone. We thought we'll be able to send you over to Andrew so they can show you that beautiful landscape. But just like the wind, just like the weather, we can control as much as we like out here, but not everything. So our apologies about that. Ooh, what is that bird? Starbuck, good afternoon. So good to hear from you. Do animals experience fear? I think so, definitely. I mean, when you look at an animal that's being chased, when you look at the waterbuck, the impalas, the monkeys, everything, when they alarm call for a predator, surely that must be out of fear. I don't think it's always just the na 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 na. It's literally, oh dear, today might be the day that I die. But again, I'm a human being. And that is just what we take from it. That is what we interpret animals feeling and thinking and going through. But as I keep saying, and I'll never stop saying this, we'll never truly know unless you are in the brain and mind of a functioning, living animal. You would not know what that animal's going through. Just like humans. We don't always know everyone's story, so be kind, be on alert. If you see something, say something like the animals. And just be on the lookout for one another as well. Have each other's backs. That is the one thing that I also find very admirable about animals in general. But I think so, Starbuck. I think when a springbok is running away from a cheetah, for instance, it really is thinking, ah! I don't think it's like, na 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 na, oh, 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 you missed me, try again. I don't think that's at all what's going through their mind. But as I say, this is just me making human connotation. Animals are wild things, they are mysterious things. But surely, if a pride of lions is busy ambushing you, I don't think you are experiencing anything else but fear. Still so peaceful and calm. And remember, even after Escape to Nature, you can still observe these damn cameras, either on YouTube or on our app, so you're more than welcome to do so. Perhaps something appears. Some elephants drinking, some lions coming for a nap, or just really the waterbuck that have been spending time with us. That has really been my favorite today. And also, if you did miss the whole Escape to Nature, you can always just check out the highlights a little bit later, either on YouTube or the app. And that is just how we compile all of the best bits for you. Dean, you are so welcome. Thank you to our Zoomies as well. You know, they are always assisting us on the damn cameras as well, volunteering their free time. But you are very welcome, Dean. And thank all of you. Really, thank you, Dean. Thank you to everyone for your questions, your comments, just really taking some time to appreciate nature with us today. As I say, from me personally, it means a lot, and I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart, just for wanting to know about these animals, wanting to spend some time with them. But I will be back again tomorrow for Escape to Nature at the Waterholes, so definitely do join us for that. But I hope all of you will also stay tuned for Sunset Safari later. But most of all, I hope everyone has a beautiful Saturday and rest of the weekend. I will see you all again tomorrow. And thank you again for today, for everything. I appreciate all of you so much. And I will see you tomorrow.